I want to answer at least one question here, one point here, made by Anthony Fitzgerald, who says Trump is not turning the US into an autocracy. I am more than disappointed you push this democratic nonsense as real. However, if you truly believe your claim, please give specifics. I think I've actually given the specifics, but let's just go through a few of them in general terms. The idea that Trump is using the presidency for retribution, he actually says, "I am your retribution" in March 2023. He said that. He's promised to prosecute his rivals, including Biden. The Project 2025 talks about purging the civil service and installing loyalists through policies like Schedule F, which would strip protections from tens of thousands of federal workers. Is it not in some way part of the remit of the Doge project, the stuff of Elon Musk? His team has floated the idea of deploying the military domestically, including invoking the Insurrection Act. And the idea of unitary executive power, his legal scholars have teamed up with the Trump administration to propose an extreme interpretation of this, which posits all executive power to be concentrated in the president. The theory underpins efforts to free the president from independent checks, such as the Department of Justice and the various regulatory agencies. Trump's team believes he should be immune from prosecution. He's already faced a good deal, significantly more prosecution than the majority of people who have sat behind the Resolute desk. His allies, like the former officials like Jeffrey Clark, have discussed weaponizing the DOJ to punish critics, to award allies. Unlike Nixon, who tried this covertly, Trump plans to do it overtly, claiming the DOJ was weaponized against him. His disdain for constitutional norms. He refused the peaceful transfer of power, which led to the January the 6th uprising. He challenges the system unless he wins. Trump has repeatedly praised and mimicked autocrats like Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, and President Xi, admired not just for their power but for their control. He said of Xi, he runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. It's brilliant. He envies strongman-style governance, seeing democracy as messy and weak. He's called the press the enemy of the people, echoing totalitarian language. He's threatened to revoke licenses, prosecute journalists, ban outlets. His allies are drafting plans to use the FCC to regulate content and seize control of public broadcasting. Even if these things don't materialize, the fact that they are even considered is shocking. He's purged the RNC, installing loyalists like Lara Trump, and infusing the party apparatus with his campaign. The centralizing of the party, the state machinery, is reminiscent of authoritarian regimes. He suggested deploying the National Guard and military forces at the border and against civil unrest on his own authority, bypassing governors. He supports mass immigration raids, military-led deportations. His plans include internment camps for undocumented migrants, something not seen since the Japanese internment in World War II. He is busy dismantling international commitments, his threats to withdraw from NATO, to dismantle post-war alliances, to end America's traditional role in multilateral diplomacy. All of this is a hallmark of the sort of autocrats who favor bilateral coercion over global consensus. And finally, Trump's lawyers have already floated radical constitutional arguments that a president could assassinate political enemies without being charged while in office. This goes beyond the normal abuses of power. It imagines a presidency without limits. Now, admittedly, much of this is hypothetical, but what I didn't realize when I started looking at this early this morning was this thing about his meeting with Viktor Orban in Mar-a-Lago, in contravention of the Logan Act, act is simply astonishing, that he promised Orban that he would stop aid to Ukraine, and then went ahead, and when he was in office did so, admittedly for a short period of time, but that was enough to queer Zelensky's position in Ukraine, to change the way the war is going. That was enough. And that is shocking, utterly shocking. So yeah, if you know, this is not about this is not about whether we have an autocracy in the United States. We don't, of course. But is it threatened? Well, Project 2025 absolutely envisages that, and the Mar-a-Lago meeting is certainly a defiance of the norms. And so yes, Anthony, I clearly, I hope I provided some evidence. There may be more. There may be much more.